Here's Charles Hannegriff and Richard Dixon.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer, and after 98.1. See the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
When you're ready to talk about owning land, call me, Tommy Marsh, at 985-446-9450 or find us online at firstsouthland.com.
This Thanksgiving, River Parish contractors would like to take a moment to express their deepest appreciation for its clients, customers, and employees. You are the reason River Parish Contractors is one of South Louisiana's most successful leaders in industrial construction and turnaround services. They couldn't do it without you and your dedication to the company. From the River Parish Contractors family to yours, happy Thanksgiving, safe travels, and enjoy this special time with your loved ones.
Do more together this holiday in a new Chevy. Take on more adventure in the strong and capable Chevy Silverado. More confidence in the Chevy Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs 2 years running. And more value in the all-new Chevy Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Bring the holidays together in a new Chevy. See your Super Chevy dealers today. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Medicaid members, keep your address and phone number up to date to make sure you receive important information about your health insurance and you don't risk losing your coverage. If you get a letter from Louisiana Medicaid, follow the directions and respond to it as soon as possible. For questions or to update your info, call the number on your insurance card or visit healthy.la.gov. That's healthy.la.gov. Remember, keep your contact information up to date and respond to Medicaid letters so you don't lose your health care coverage.
We're really proud of that accomplishment. That was something that we talked about. Winning at home in Tiger Stadium is important to us. I think 13-1 over the last 2 years at home. That is something that we talk about and playing well at home. And I thought our guys, we said this on a number of occasions, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. We're not perfect. We have to grind, but I'm proud of their resolve. And I think that showed, especially in the second half. I think, they were 2 of 9 in the second half and third down conversions. We couldn't stop them. We couldn't get off the field in the first half. In the second half, they really made some plays. We got the pick, which was huge, converted that offensively. And then our playmakers made plays. Big-time players make big-time plays in games like this. And you saw Neighbors and Thomas and obviously Daniels with the 4 touchdowns against, I would consider, the best defense that we've played all year. Just another incredible performance. So really proud of our coaches, really proud of our football team to come back and get a victory and get 9 wins and have a chance for 10 again. Was an important milestone for us. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
It's that fourth quarter. You said big-time players, but crunch time, I think Jaden goes for 100 yards passing in that one. He had barely over 100 throughout the entire game. What did you see in that sense of urgency?
Well, again, I think we made some plays defensively that I thought got some momentum. And then, quite frankly, I thought our offensive line kind of, stood tall, protected, and we won some one-on-one matchups. Became a little bit more predictable in terms of what was going to happen out there. They had tried some different things, obviously, with, dropping 8, and he heard them running the football. And then the pressures, we were able to, start to pick up the pressures and then get the one-on-one matchups. And, again, you may get Jaden for a little bit, but you just can't keep him down.
On the 4th down call, it looked like you thought about it for about less than a second. What was your thinking there? And at that point in the game, did you feel like that was necessary at that point?
I felt it was necessary at that point, that we needed to convert in that situation. And, I was trying to get the attention of the offense, but our special teams coach was halfway on the field. So I had to get him off the field because there was no way in that situation we were going to give the football up.
Coach, right here, maybe around the country, teams are going to see and fans are going to see the explosiveness of your offense, but what kind of pride do you and the rest of the staff take in being able to kind of grind out drives late in the game to ice games?
Well, look, I mean, the explosiveness is in the numbers, right? If you do the research, and many have already done the research in terms of big plays, 20 yards or more, they're out there. But to win games, you still have to control the football, and they did a great job today. Hats off to Elijah and his staff coming in here and having his football team ready to play, and controlling the clock was their best chance today, and they did a terrific job. But when it counted most late in the game, we were able to do that offensively and grind some clock and shorten the game in the fourth quarter when we got the lead.
Brian, when it comes to third down, I think A&M was 0 for its last 5. Was there a specific adjustment y'all made, maybe with Harold in particular, or something else that maybe attributed to that?
Yeah, so we were getting overloaded in zones with their passing game. In particular into the short field, they were running vertical switch routes and then bringing a drive route back that we just couldn't match in our zone, and it was difficult in man coverage. So we went to a spy technique with Harold, and then we went to an old-fashioned two-trail coverage where we just ran cover 2 behind it, and we just ran trail technique underneath. So we got underneath all of the receivers because they were, as you know, a lot of spot routes, a lot of curls, a lot of drive routes that we just couldn't match. And that we got 3 consecutive stops being in trail coverage. We hadn't run it all year. We kind of had to make that adjustment at halftime. We talked to the kids about what we needed them to do, and to their credit, they went out and executed it.
Coach, last year, Malik Neighbors didn't get off to the best start with those 2 missed punt returns. This year, he sets the record for LSU with receptions. Talk about his growth from last year to this year and see how much work he put in behind the scenes.
Yeah, and again, it's the natural progression within this program that players are going to develop, and that when when it's time, for them to move to that next level, whether it's their sophomore year, junior year, senior year, you're going to see player development here. That's why I love coaching. That's why I'm in this business, because we're going to develop our players. And so he's part of a program where you're going to see player development. Our players are going to have their best year in their later years as they develop. We played a lot of freshmen this year, and there was some growing pains, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But they're going to be better for it next year, and we're going to see that tangibly in the way they play.
Coach, not to jump too far ahead, but as Major Burns came off the field, you could see him taking extra time looking at the crowd before he walked through the tunnel. Malik had tears in his eyes. You gave Brian Harris Jr. a huge hug there at the end near the goal line. What kind of conversations do you have now with these guys in terms of the bowl game coming up with, players now decide not to play in bowl games to get ready for the NFL? Do you see any of that possibility, for the Tigers?
Yeah, I'm sure some of them, will have to make some decisions as to whether they think it's in their best interest moving forward, whether they, stay or go. We've had preliminary conversations with all of our players relative to staying for another year, leaving for the NFL, playing in the game. So we've got a pretty good sense of, where our guys are at. And, for us, it's about information. It's about making sure they make the best decision for themselves and for their future. So we're going to be in good shape no matter what happens, regardless of who the player is. Again, I think we've done a pretty good job. We'll do some more meetings this week. We'll have exit interviews with all of our players, and then probably have even a stronger feeling about, where our players are at relative to the next step.
Yeah, Brian, what do you think that the Heisman voters will take away from the final impression of Jaden today? What did you think they would take away?
Well, I arguably would say that this, first of all, it's a top 10 defense in the country. I think their defensive line is outstanding, and he had 4 touchdown passes. You know, you throw for 4 touchdown passes against a defense, you put up 42 points. It sure as heck can't hurt you. And then obviously running the way he did, you know, I just think he just strengthened his case for the Heisman.
Coach has time for a couple more, Cobble.
Coach, it's that time of year where some jobs get opened up. Obviously, you know, you've been a pretty attractive name considering what you've been able to do here. How do you approach that?
Yeah, you know, I've been in this for 30-something years. What's that, like 200 and something dog years? It's a long time. I feel that way sometimes. You know, this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be at LSU, and I love it here. And I'm not going anywhere. This is my stop. This is the last stop on the Coach Kelly caravan. And you know, you always go, wow, you know, he's just saying that, you know, to get the right soundbite. But you know, I don't have to say anything that puts me in a corner. But this is it. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to coach. I love it here. I love the people. I love the state, and I love the fact that I'm working with an administration, an athletic director, and Scott Woodward, and a president and President Tate, that are giving us the support necessary to graduate champions. And so this is where I want to be.
Wilson, you got the last one.
Ryan, over the next few weeks, what are you going to consider, and how are you going to approach any staff decisions when it comes to your assistants and who may be with you next season?
Yeah, I mean, look, every year there's going to be an evaluation. I mean, I evaluate what I've done, and I have to look at, you know, as the leader of this program, you know, how did I lead this year? So it starts with me, and then I'll evaluate all of our coaches and, you know, our support staff as well. Everybody is part of this evaluation process. Our players will be evaluated this week, and then I'll go through a lengthy evaluation process of our entire staff, not just the coaches, but the entire support staff as well. You know, the ultimate goal here is to win championships, but I also know that the development of this program is still ongoing, and that's an important piece in this evaluation process as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll bring Jaden in to the podium again like we've been doing.
A terrific scene at the Big House. Now we're in Death Valley for a college football Saturday here in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium. Picture perfect Saturday afternoon. And one more opportunity for Jaden Daniels to take the field here at Death Valley on Senior Day.
One simple but brilliant trick to heat your home in 90 seconds and save thousands of dollars on your heating bill.
Yeah, please. Appreciate you.
Jaden, right here. A lot of emotions post-game for you and a lot of other guys. I know it's still pretty raw, but can you kind of reflect on what your time here has been like and playing in front of these fans and kind of wearing the purple and gold?
It's meant a lot to me. Be able to come here and last year and really, you know, believe in myself and trusting the unknown. You know, I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. And now just go through it in my last game here. You know, I really haven't really sat down, really embraced what I went through, but, you know, I was just trying to enjoy every little moment.
Hey, Jaden. You've been in college 5 years, been a starter for 5 years, 2 different schools, now potential Heisman campaign. What are you going to remember about your college career?
You know, just everything I've been through in my college career. You know, the people I met, you know, the relationships I built on and off the field. You know, that's what means the most to me.
Talk about today a little bit. How did you approach this? You know, everybody expects something of you now, right? So to kind of struggle early in the game and to figure it out late, how did you approach it going in, and when did you feel like it started to come around for you?
I mean, Texas A&M is a very talented team. Obviously, their record doesn't show for it, but, you know, they have good players over there too. So for us, it was like, you know, just staying the course. Obviously, you know, we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have adversity. And for us, just stay the course and really just go out there and see it start clicking. I would just say, you know, that last drive when Brian, you know, Moss the dude, I would say that's kind of where it all clicked for us coming out of halftime.
Hey, Jaden, your touchdown passes in the second half seemed like a combination of great pass and great hands by your guys, your wide receivers. What about the confidence you have when you throw it up to them and that they're going to come down with it?
I mean, my confidence is out the roof with them. It's just something that we worked on. The whole offseason, just building that trust with each other. For all three of them to score in the last regular season home game, it means a lot for me.
Hey, Jaden, right here. The fourth down play where you guys were at 4th and 4, and I think you scrambled for like 50 yards. Just what did you see on that play, and you just kind of break it down for us?
Their corners did a good job, squatting on some of the routes that we throw a lot. Obviously, they seen on film, and I came back, tried to see if I could hit Brian on the slant. The DB's playing good leverage, so I kind of just seen an opening, it was a must-have for us. Obviously, that changed the momentum, shifted it. So when the play had to be made, I was stepped up to the plate.
Jaden, you said last game. Was this it, or do you still have a decision to make about the bowl?
I got to make some decisions. Obviously, I'm going to go sit down, talk to my family, kind of just embrace this moment of, my last regular season game. We'll just go from there.
You talked about it last regular season game. You don't like to talk a lot about the Heisman and individual stuff, but do you feel like you've made your case? Because there's no more regular season games for you. Do you feel like you've made your case?
Most definitely, I do. Obviously, we got to see what the other guys do, but I think I'm going to make my case to get invited up there.
Jaden, you talked about getting all your key receivers in the end zone today. I saw a huge moment with Lacey when he caught his touchdown. He seemed pretty emotional, and not only you but Coach Kelly, and a bunch of other guys embraced him. Was there a specific reason as to why he was emotional in that moment exactly?
The first play of the drive, we obviously knew Malik was like 60-something yards away from being the all-time leading receiving yards here. And obviously, him getting that penalty neglected that, and it broke his heart because that's his brother, and that's something that we worked so hard for. So for him being emotional, him coming in and scoring the closing touchdown, it meant a lot for me. It meant a lot for all of us, just to pick our brother up. And when the play needed to be made, he made the play.
Time for two more. Kyle? Yeah, I'm just curious, how much pride do you take in kind of lifting or elevating the play of the people around you? Obviously, you talked about your three receivers, but Matt getting a touchdown last week. Just everything kind of seems to be better when you're rolling.
Yeah, I set a standard for myself, and I expect other guys to meet the standard. They met it all year long. I'm just happy to go out there and play with those guys.
Jaden, any thoughts about when you go to the next level, you may not throw to receivers as good as these guys?
Hopefully I do. Obviously, they got some talented people in the league, but that's kind of out of my control where I go and when I go. So, I'm just gonna enjoy this moment here, and when the draft comes, that's something we'll figure out.
All right, thanks, Jay.
Man, thank you guys.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day is on the air. Presented by Super Chevy. See your Super Chevy dealers of Baton Rouge. It's time to talk LSU football on the flagship home of the Tigers. Call 225-499-9898. It's Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, here's Charles Hannegriff and Richard Dixon.
A monster fourth quarter propels LSU to their 9th win of the season and possibly has put the Heisman Trophy in the hands of Jaden Daniels. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charles Hannegriff along with former Tiger Richard Dixon. We apologize for the late start. We are here at Rouse's corner of Burbank and Lee. The game started out innocently enough with both teams failing to convert on their first possession, although it took a drop from Texas A&M to get that done. And then LSU took the ball and did what they've been doing for most of the season, which is go right down the field and score. A big scramble by Jaden Daniels set up a short run by Logan Diggs, and LSU was out in front 7-0 about midway through the first quarter. And then Texas A&M would put together a drive that would sort of act as a microcosm for the entire afternoon, or at least the first three quarters of the afternoon. The Aggies put together a drive that consumed 17 plays, 67 yards, and just over 9 minutes on the clock. 3 times on the drive they would convert on third down. with 3 to go, 11 to go, and 12 to go. And another time they would convert on 4th down. And as it got towards the end of the first quarter and A&M punched in there early in the second, it was a tie ball game, and LSU kind of felt like at that point they hadn't even had possession of the football. The Tigers would go 3 and out, and A&M would put together another scoring drive, this time a field goal drive. And then after LSU went ahead, again, Jaden Daniels to Malik Neighbors for the touchdown on an afternoon where Neighbors would become LSU's all-time receptions leader. A&M would take the ball with a little over 5 minutes to go in the first half and again put together a clock-extinguishing and scoring drive. 13 plays, 78 yards, 4 minutes and 50 seconds, converting on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 4th and 1, and finally 3rd and 3 that resulted in a touchdown. And so it went for LSU most of the afternoon. When the Tigers could get their hands on the football, they scored with relative ease, at least after the first quarter of the game. But getting their hands on the ball was a chore. LSU and Texas A&M gained almost exactly the same amount of yards in this game this afternoon. LSU had 389, and Texas A&M had 390 yards. But A&M possessed the ball for 76 plays and 36 minutes and 39 seconds. LSU was able to accumulate the same amount of yardage in 24 fewer plays and 13 less minutes of possession. And so it goes. This game, I said the drive was a microcosm for the game. The game was a microcosm for the season. What worked for LSU today? Jaden Daniels really had a monster fourth quarter. He had a very good game. By his standards, a very good game. By anybody else's standards, with 4 touchdowns and 355 yards, it would be probably the game of their life. For Daniels, it's just another Saturday. But in the fourth quarter, he electrified the crowd with some great throws and made sure that LSU didn't let Texas A&M get the upper hand, get back into the ball game. But LSU's defense really could not get off of the field in a timely manner for most of the game. The Aggies were 9 of 18 on 3rd down, and they converted another 3 4th down. So when you add in the missed field goal that they would have in the second half and the drop, LSU really only stopped Texas A&M twice on this day. Once an interception by Greg Penn in the second half, and the other one they did finally get them to punt the football in the fourth quarter. But LSU, once they got the lead, was able to put the hammer down. And the fourth quarter, it really did feature some of those plays that we were hoping that Jaden Daniels would be able to put on a highlight film. And, of course, the one pass to Malik Neighbors in the corner of the end zone, which, well, right there on the side boundary of the end zone, was fantastic. The one to Kyron Lacey was a terrific play. Maybe no play bigger for Daniels than early in the third quarter. After Texas A&M had scored on the final drive of the first half and the first drive of the second half, the Tigers found themselves in the biggest hole of the day at 24-14. Facing 4th and 4 from up near midfield, Brian Kelly decided to go for it, and Daniels took off on a 49-yard run that would set LSU up for a 1st and goal. Josh Williams would punch it in for the touchdown to cut A&M's lead to 24-21, and it was game on. It was a beautiful day in Tiger Stadium, great weather, a fantastic going-away present for the seniors on this team. And for LSU, their 9th win of.
Was it everything they wanted in the season? It was not. But were there some highlights that we will remember forever? Yes. On the offensive side of the ball, you've seen some of the greatest plays and greatest games in LSU football history. And you may see yet another Heisman Trophy winner and another Biletnikoff Award winner. All of those things are still in play. LSU will go to a bowl game with a chance to win 10 games. Put that in back-to-back seasons, and, well, that's pretty good. So there was a lot to like about today and a lot to talk about what you can fix. And, you know, Rich, this outcome was what LSU wanted. If you had told me at the beginning of the day today, it'll be 42-30. And I said, yeah, that sounds about right. That's about what LSU was favored by. It's a little bit over what the total was. So this is kind of the outcome that they expected. I didn't expect that A&M would have the ball as much as they did and be able to control the tempo and basically the flow of the game went through A&M for a little over 3 quarters before LSU took control in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that first half was rough. I mean, when they get back-to-back stops like that, they score 14 unanswered points. I'm kind of texting you. I'm like, this ain't good.
No.
I mean, it's not looking good at all.
It wasn't.
I'm starting to get anxiety. My chest is hurting. I'm like, I'm going to be in a bad mood all night. But they made the plays when they needed to. And look, as bad as the defense has been all year, tonight they made plays when we needed them most.
In the fourth quarter,
yeah.
the interception was one. Forcing the punt was the other. And look, they didn't make a lot of plays, but they made them
played their ass off tonight.
When they needed to, they did. I thought that Bobby Petrino called an excellent game. It seemed like, and I thought Jalen Henderson played really, really well. We're talking about third-string quarterback over there. And it seemed like on third, not only were they controlling the flow and the tempo of the game, but it seemed like on third down, when they needed to find a hole, they could find an open receiver. A&M really didn't run the ball all that much today. They averaged a little over 2 yards a carry. But when they needed those key completions on third down, boy, they made a lot of them.
Man, Jimbo's gone. And A&M's offense completely changes for the last 2 games, put up 51 points and 30 points.
Somewhere there's an administrator in College Station going, see, I told you.
It was worth $76 million.
I told you you had to.
No, I mean,
you had to do this.
What killed me was even early on, defense was making some plays. They were getting after the quarterback, getting in third and longs. It was just every time that the D-line and a linebacker made a play, they let it go on a third and long. And it was very frustrating because I started getting kind of excited the way the defense was playing, and then I kept getting let down.
What I liked about the defense today was this was the Harold Perkins that, frankly, I had hoped to see all year.
Yeah.
This was the Harold Perkins that we saw in the Arkansas game last year. This is the Harold Perkins that was a preseason All-American. He looked like, in that spy role, he was freelancing and he could make some plays. In the open field, he's as good as any defender that they've got in the conference, but too often this season it seemed like they could never quite figure out what to do with him. Today, this was tailor-made for him. With a quarterback that moves around, they just put him back there and said, make sure he doesn't beat us with his feet.
And honestly, they made that change in the second half. They had Summit going on in the first half, but he was still in coverage a lot, playing in that outside zone. Kind of like where Penn got his interception. That's where Harold got his interception earlier, playing that drop field. But, man, once they put him in the spy, he let him go, and he made the plays that we've been expecting all year.
Deshaun Womack was in on that last sack,
great.
too.
He was pretty excited about that one.
Yes, that was good.
Weeks make some
back
plays.
Today, yeah.
And if he doesn't show up to you when you watch the film, I mean, he's so fast. I can't wait, assuming next year we get Perk back and we get Weeks. Those two guys, those fast linebackers.
So, the defense, look, it is what it has been for most of the season. It's not perfect. It's going to take an off season to go and really go through this and see what they need to adjust to. But they made just enough plays to do it. Offensively, you're seeing some of the greatest ever to not just come through here, but to play college football, period. Jaden Daniels had 8 more plays of 20 yards today. That brings him to 90 for the season. The next closest player is 61, okay? The number of, as long as the NCAA has been tracking this, the number of 20-plus yard plays in a season, Daniels now has the record with 90. He went by Bailey Zappi, who had 89. Joe Burrow, by the way, in 2019, had 87 of those plays. Daniels has played 12 games. Burrow played 15.
Yeah.
And I think we know how good a player that Joe Burrow was. So he has,
done everything he can do and more.
At the middle of the third quarter, you're like, look, his numbers weren't eye-popping at that point, and LSU was behind. So it's like they lose a game, he gets 180 yards or something like that through the air. That's it. That's going to be the end of the dream. But then the fourth quarter happened, and they scored 3 touchdowns, and he makes some big highlight plays. And you look at the numbers here at the end, like I said, for him, this is just another day at the office, 355 yards and 4 touchdown passes. For most people, that's a career day. So he's made his case. He has shot the best score he can shoot. He's in the clubhouse. He'll watch the other golfers play the Pac-12 championship game next week. Is it enough? The beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Nix has had a fantastic year. Penix has had a fantastic year. The numbers are going to favor Daniels. Okay,
and that's where I'm at. They keep showing every record that he breaks, and the guy that he broke won the Heisman. I mean, every record that he breaks, and they say, who did he break it from? It was a Heisman winner. Right. To me, I mean, that's very telling that all these records. There was one, I can't remember what record it was in the game, but he was the fourth person to ever do it. The three previous all won the Heisman.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just you got to reward excellence.
And not for nothing, but on game day today, Kirk Herbstreit is talking about Daniels, and this is near the end of the show, and he says, when Daniels wins the Heisman in a couple of weeks, and they're like, oh, wait, you're just giving it to him already? He's like, yeah. And they said, do you vote? He goes, yeah, I do. Herbstreit, whether you like him or not, and I like him a lot. I think he's excellent. But he is one of the most influential voices in college football. Yeah. He's got the prime seat for the top pregame show and the prime seat for whatever the game of the week is in 80% of college football. So when he says something like that, it carries some weight. All Jaden Daniels had to do was go out and put another performance up to justify that. Boom, that's done now. And so we wait. If Nix or Penix goes off in the last game and people want to vote for him for that, I'll understand that, I guess. But Daniels has made as good a case as he can make. And likewise, Malik Neighbors for the Biletnikoff. 6 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's now LSU's all-time leading receptions. All-time leader in receptions, and he's 22 yards short of the receiving record, which he said he wants to come and break in the bowl game. Okay, so that is a good thing too. He's made his case for the Biletnikoff. Like Daniels, his numbers will probably end up at the end of the season better than anybody else's. But again, like Daniels, he's on a team that has 3 losses and won't play next Saturday. So again, vote what you think is the most important.
So, it took me an hour and a half to get from Central to the Rouses here today.
Yeah.
So it was pretty impressive. It took me almost the same amount of time to get from Ocean Springs to Central. But were you listening? I got to listen to some of the post game with Jaden and Brian Kelly. The coolest thing I thought, it's understanding it. Everybody was talking about Kyron Lacy crying after that last touchdown.
Yeah.
And they told him why. He was crying because he thought he ruined Malik's record. If he doesn't get that holding, he breaks the record. They're all aware of it.
Yeah.
That speaks so much of Kyron Lacy that he just scores a touchdown, and he's so upset about messing up that record with a ticky-tack call. I mean, I thought that was really cool, and I'm glad they talked about that.
It is, and it was a big play anyway. I think it went for 35 yards even after the penalty, but it took.
But he was 22 yards short. That would have broke the record.
It took him. It took that off of the board. As far as the Biletnikoff, again, his numbers are there.
It's like, did he have a good enough year last year? Because it's always like a 2-year deal, it seems like, on the Biletnikoff.
I don't think that should matter all that much.
But we've seen it in the past.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison had a good day today. He had 5 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown, and it was a pretty important game for Ohio State. They came up short, but they're 11-1. Now he's not going to play in the Big Ten championship game, so we'll be able to do apples to apples this week. These are their numbers. In fact, we'll be able to do that here in one of the later segments today. I think they both got a great shot. Stuck for a prediction right now because I'm sure some of the callers will ask. I think short of Bo Nix going off and just dominating the Pac-12 championship game and winning the game in dramatic fashion, I think Daniels will win the Heisman.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that Harrison will probably win the Biletnikoff. I know that Neighbors' numbers are better, and I hope that he wins it. But I also know that Harrison came into the season with a lot more build-up, and he's had a good year. I mean, he's had a great year. I forget a good year. He's had a great year, and he's going to be the highest receiver drafted most likely. And everybody knows who he is because his dad. He's a great player. Mm-hmm. He's a great player. And if you vote for Harrison, I got to say, listen, you voted for a great player. But Neighbors' numbers are going to be better.
Neighbors' numbers are better, and I say it in every show we do, especially when you compare what Brian Thomas Jr. is doing. I mean, he's got another guy that's taken that many touchdowns, that many opportunities, that many attempts away from him, and he's still coming up with the numbers he has.
499-9898 is the number to call on the LeBear's hotline. We'll come back with your phone calls. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
The last days of Black Friday deals at Target. Save up to 50% on select tech and video games. Plus, save up to 40% on select small appliances, 40% off pajamas for the family, and so much more. And get free shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card at Target.com. But hurry, these Black Friday deals end Saturday. Get low prices and great Black Friday deals now, only at Target. Exclusions apply.
Love like this before. At Ulta Beauty's Black Friday sale, I get up to 50% off all week long on over 275 can't-miss deals. Starting November 19th, shop 40% off stunning Morphe eyeshadow palettes and 50% off select Tula skincare products. Plus, starting Tuesday, shop
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues here at Rouse's. All your holiday stuff, you get it here at Rouse's. All of your wine, your beer, your spirits over here on this side. We got the Chop House, we got the bakery, we got the Mongolian Grill, we got the Chef's Collection, and all your groceries here. Download the app. It is so very easy to pick up your groceries here at Rouse's. 499-9898 is the number to call. Jules is in New Mexico. Jules, welcome into the show.
How you guys doing? Hey, just one thing. The touchdown by Texas A&M in the fourth quarter. Weeks makes that play. Just saying. Go Tigers. Let's go Brandon. Tigers. Let's go Brandon.
Yeah, that was a particularly poor play by Omar Spates.
He missed 2 tackles on the dang play and then gets drugged in the end zone. I mean, Spates didn't have a good night tonight. He struggled a lot. Had a few missed tackles on big plays. Look, I was just glad to see Weeks get back out there. Weeks had a mistake tonight too. He missed a guy in coverage that had a big play. But the way he flashes, the way he moves, and he just is like a heat-seeking missile. He attacks guys.
He will be a big part of the retooling of this defense next year. He has to be.
Yeah.
He's a playmaker, and he's so solid with most of what he does for anybody, but especially for a freshman. So I think he's only going to get better.
I think he should have he doesn't have the production because he didn't have the play, but I'm as excited as I was about Harold Perkins. I love watching the guy play.
They are going to, as soon as, now the season's over, they're going to put the film on. They're going to start talking about a complete revamp from top to bottom. And one of my favorite lines, okay, what do we got on the spaceship that's good? Because the defense was atrocious most of the season. All right, so what do you got what do you have moving forward that this will work, okay? Weeks is one of those pieces.
I think Guillory played his butt off tonight, had a great game.
It's not like there's
talent out there.
There's pieces, there's talent, there's enormous potential there. But what they did this year didn't work.
No.
And so that's why they got to go figure out what are you going to change, because this is not something that I enjoy watching defensively.
No, and what we have to see, I mean, we got to have a more consistent pass rush. I think Deshaun Womack grows into year 2. He has so much elite ability to make plays, speed, pass rush. Guillory, hopefully, all these guys make smart decisions, come back. He's flashing. Mason Smith needs to come back. He needs another good year. And then I think where we need to see the changes in the secondary. Look, losing the transfers we brought in that all were gone by midseason. We struggled in the secondary. The safety play was rough all year, really rough tonight. And, they hurt us so many times when the front seven would play well.
You had times where the front seven would play well and the back end wouldn't. So there were
Just
a couple
together.
of games where the back end played okay and the front seven
Yeah.
got like against Alabama. Okay,
Yeah.
Alabama won the game in the box. The Texas A&M made their living today against coverage.
Yeah.
A lot of those third down plays.
I thought it was interesting in the post game that Brian Kelly said they switched to a trail 2 coverage, which was the first time they ran it all year long, and they ran it basically the fourth quarter. I'm like, that worked.
Okay.
Y'all did that in the locker room?
Why not? Well, never mind. Juno is in Baton Rouge. Juno, welcome into the show.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call. What's up, guys? Thanks. Wanted to talk about Omar Speight, Bo Nix, and JD5 chances for the Heisman. Supposedly, Speight was one of the top players in Pac-12 last year, and now Bo Nix suddenly found his game in that same Pac-12. How can you fairly compare JD5 season to Bo Nix's season? I'll hang up and listen.
Well, first of all, Daniels, Nix, and Michael Penix, too, for that matter, all became much better quarterbacks after they transferred. Not the least of reasons was they all got more mature. They all got better. They all worked on their games. Okay, yeah. The Daniels story is, we've heard it a bunch because of the time that he's put in, being in the building at 5:30 in the morning, going out to California in the off season to work, with specialized coaches and things like that. So they put it together. I can't hold anything against Nix for what he did at Auburn, the same way I'm not holding anything against Daniels for what he did at Arizona State. I think that the Pac-12 this year was significantly better than it was last year, okay? Spates aside, Spates has had, I'm sorry, he had a poor day today, and it really wasn't a very good year. No. I expected more out of him based on some of the stats that we saw. But I'm not going to tell you that the level of competition in the Pac-12 was not very good this year. If LSU played Oregon or Washington or, hell, what I'm watching right now from Arizona, those are all pretty good teams. Utah, pretty good team. They had to go their entire season without a starting quarterback.
There was at one point it was the best conference in the league this year.
So I'm not going to – this is not a typical Pac-12 year where they're just not playing any defense and there's not – don't let Spates' year – kind of throw you off from what happened in that league this year.
Look, you got to look at every season individually. Things get different. Coaches change. Game plans change. Your teammates change. I mean, year to year, it's a different team. You hear the coaches talk about it all year long. But, both of them have had great seasons. I think, I got a little bit of bias. I've watched Nix play. Nix has, done great. He did some good things at Auburn, too. I mean, I've always kind of liked watching his game. But, Jaden Daniels is superior, in my opinion.
Here's the latest after the game, the odds, okay? At ESPN Bet, Nix is minus 125 and Daniels is plus 125. So that doesn't sound great because Nix has got another game. At DraftKings, Nix is minus 130, Daniels is plus 110. At FanDuel, he's minus 125 and Daniels is plus 115. That tells you that Vegas right now thinks that Patrick Nix is going to win the Heisman.
But do you think
unless he were to play poorly in the game?
But do you think when they do these odds, and you know better than me, there's a matrix to it, and to have that fast of a change because he was leader earlier in the week.
Yeah.
They went off stats, but unseen stats. Throwing for 220 or whatever he did looks different when you understand why he did it. And I think that the eye of the voter is a little bit different than the matrix.
Well, that's true, and that's why this is, regardless of what the odds say, we're not going to know for sure because we don't know what matters to every individual voter. Yeah. Okay, if it's up to a guy like Herbstreit, well, he's going to win the Heisman. If it was up to RG3, who did the game on TV today, he's going to win the Heisman. And a lot of other people think that. But there are some that will vote for Nix or even Penix. If Penix, let's see what he's doing right now. They were up 14-7 the last time I looked.
Everybody's cashed it out to Nix and Daniels, but I mean, what if Penix blows him out again in the Pac-12 championship and has an unbelievable game?
Yeah, and that. So I thought he was still in it. He's they're at the end of the first half. He's throwing for 118 yards and a touchdown. So, pretty decent numbers, but nothing overwhelming. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. Max is in Baton Rouge. Max, welcome into the show.
Hey guys, I want to talk about two LSU legends today. First one is you, Mr. Hannah-Griff. As we get to the end of another season, I just want to thank you. For those who don't know,
Thanks. I didn't play, though.
listen to this show and don't listen to other post-game sports talk, we are blessed in this market to have truly one of the best. The first post-game call-in show I can remember is the infamous Ole Miss spike with no time left on the clock. I was about 11 years old, crying my eyes out, and this show, after big wins, after big losses, is truly a place for common sense, reasoning, and obscure LSU football history. So I thank you for that, and I hope for all of our sake, you got another 20, 30 years in you, because this is a invaluable part of the LSU game experience.
So too, Max. Thank you.
And from
Oh, man, I think he was going
I
to say
wanted to
something.
hit number two.
I did. I wanted to
This
hit number
question.
two. I think we'll oh, there he is. Go ahead.
I asked you this question. This season, to me, feels like one of the biggest missed opportunities with the offensive output that we had. So now that we have 12 games under our belt and we are looking back, can you just contextualize what is the other historical competition in terms of a great wasted defense, a great wasted offense, a great wasted player? Because in my limited memory, this offense is going to be just one of the biggest missed opportunities in LSU history. Thanks for what y'all do. I hope we get 20 more years and I'll hang up and listen.
Appreciate it. I may upset the gentleman sitting next to me, but I'm going to say 2006. You guys were probably two plays away from either playing for or winning the national championship.
You got 4 or 5 first-rounders off that team.
Yeah.
That was probably no doubt the most talented team I played on at LSU.
And it wasn't lopsided. It was a good offense, and it was a good defense. And I'll go to my grave saying that they were robbed at Auburn, that there were two horrific calls in that game. And for a guy that had a great year in 2006 that propelled him to the #1 pick in the draft,
played his worst game against Florida.
He had a tough game against Florida. He had a fumble on the 1-yard line.
3 interceptions.
Yeah.
We played bad as a team. We fumbled the opening kickoff in the second half.
Yeah.
Brandon LaFell gets his ribs cracked, has to stay in Gainesville that night. That was a tough one because we knew we were better. We knew we were the best team in the conference that year, and we just had a couple. Auburn, we didn't play particularly well. I mean, we should have definitely scored more points in that game. I'll always remember that game. That was my first SEC road start.
Right.
The infamous I didn't get to go to the movie with the team.
Yeah.
I had to sit there and learn pass protections all over again. But yeah, that season we talk about it all the time. It was the most talented team not to win. I think it's got the most first-round draft picks out of a season for LSU. Until
19.
Yeah, until 19. And then, that's got to be it. I mean,
if the
what was wasted? I can't say what was wasted that year.
No, I wouldn't say nothing was wasted. It was a missed opportunity because you can literally say, oh, any year you can look and say 1 or 2 play here, play that. No, you really can't. Okay, that year you can. You let me just reverse 2 or 3 plays in the Florida game. I don't even need anything reversed in Auburn. I just need the game called properly.
Yeah.
Okay, and LSU wins there. Or if Les and Jimbo hadn't had a wrestling match over the play sheet in the second half at Auburn, I think you guys win that game too. So that would be the one I would say, hey, listen, in 06, you had a real chance. And then if you want to say the 12 game against Alabama, they busted a coverage late, and they got home with the screen pass. If LSU holds on and beats Alabama there, they're going to go to the SEC championship game. They've got a great chance to win it, and if things fall right, they had a chance. But I don't think of that year in the same terms that I think of the 06 team.
The amount of talent on that 06 team was just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Jamarcus, Dwayne Bowe, Buster Davis, LaRon Landry, Glenn Dorsey, Ollie Highsmith. You can go down that whole roster. It was a lot of NFL guys.
Probably wanted me to say 2011. And that would be another good example of a team that was good enough to win the whole thing.
That's a team to me, though. I felt bad late in that season. The last couple of games, our offense was so bad. We were winning with punt returns and defensive plays and pick sixes. And
they beat Georgia by 32 points and didn't have a first down in the first half. That's how good that defense and those special teams were. and I'll go to my grave saying that
Alabama doesn't get that shot, they win again.
That if they play Oklahoma State, they
anybody.
win. Well, yeah,
because it's so hard to beat somebody twice.
But Oklahoma State was in line.
Yeah.
Okay, they missed a field goal against Iowa State, and that cost them. If LSU plays Oklahoma State for the national championship that year, there's no way to prove it. And I know Mike Gundy feels differently, and if I was in his headsets, I would probably feel differently too. But from my standpoint, if LSU would have played Oklahoma State that year, LSU would have won.
I would say that's a better comparison this year because their offense wasn't bad that year, but the defense was so great that the offense, if they make a few more plays, they're in the same situation.
499-9898 is the number to call. We'll take some more of your phone calls when we return. LSU wins it 42-30. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 98.1.
That's a barn burner in Auburn, Alabama.
I love
it. 21-20. Auburn has taken the lead over Alabama. Boy, that was a pretty wheel route, huh?
Hugh Freeze knows how to scheme up against Saban.
He does seem to have a little bit of insight. 21-20, Auburn leads at 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They're about to kick off back to Alabama. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. Ron is in Baton Rouge. Ron, welcome into the show.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
I haven't like Joe Burrow is just so much far and above everybody. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. It seems to always be a factor in the Heisman vote. And that is where you are in the country. In other words, I think everybody east of the Mississippi is going to probably vote for Daniels, and I think the guys out west are going to split the votes over there. What do y'all think?
I think that was a deal. We talked about this a little bit last week, but it's worth revisiting the topic again. I think that the regional biases are always going to be there, but I think they're less pronounced than they used to be, and here's why. Up until say 1990-ish, give or take, you had to really work to see games from other parts of the country. Okay, you weren't guaranteed if you worked in Atlanta. Okay, you weren't guaranteed to see more than one Pac-12 game, at the time Pac-10 game a week. If you worked in Phoenix or you worked in Los Angeles, you weren't guaranteed to see everybody in the Big Ten or the Southeastern Conference. So back then, you voted for who you saw. And if you were a beat writer in the Pac-12, Pac-10, then if USC had a running back, which they did a number of times, or you were a beat writer in the Big Ten and, your team played Notre Dame and they had a quarterback, which they did a few times, or Ohio State had a player, which they did, you tended to vote for who you saw. That started to change in the 90s when you got more and more games on TV, and now every game's on TV. And if you can't get it, if you don't have whatever package, then you can go to YouTube and see whatever you want. So I think I'm not saying that there's no regional bias, but I think there's nobody that wants to be informed as a voter that doesn't have everything at their fingertips. In the 80s, sports information directors would send out media packets in the summer promoting their guys. LSU did it with Tommy Hodson. And you looked at, maybe they sent you a VHS tape, or at the very least they sent you, reams and reams of stats, and it's like, hey, look at our guy in case you don't see him on TV. Well, you haven't, and that's why you had to have a build-up for the Heisman. If you had so much better a chance if you had like a big junior year, because everybody found out about you, maybe they didn't vote for you, and then they voted for you your senior year. That's why it took forever. It's no coincidence that the underclassmen, the freshmen didn't win it until Manziel and Jameis Winston, because for many of those years, the freshmen had no build-up, and probably a lot of the voters didn't see him until it was, a little bit later. So I don't know that every SEC writer is automatically going to vote for Daniels, or every Pac-12 writer is going to vote for, one of those two kids, or they're going to split the vote. I think it's something that you can research very easily now. And like I said, there's still some regional bias. I just think it's less.
Yeah, I mean, there's still going to be some. I mean, if you're a Pac-12 lifer, there's no way, and you've had this great of a year that people are respecting the Pac-12 again. For the last 7-8 years, they're talking about the Pac-12 winner doesn't deserve a playoff bid. Yeah. I mean, those guys are going to take advantage of the situation, having their best, competitive conference, 2 Heisman finalists coming from their conference. But I agree with you. I mean, listen, every national guy I'm watching right now, and I watch a lot of this stuff, is calling for Jaden. But, there's also those crazy people out west that are saying that he'd be holding a clipboard. So,
yeah,
I mean,
and I don't – I think you should – I don't think you should vote for a guy because he's in a conference or not in a certain conference. I mean, within reason, okay? I mean,
to that right there, when you look at all the Jaden Daniels records that are broken, it's a no-brainer. I mean, everybody who he's broke their record won the Heisman.
Yeah,
there's nobody behind him.
That's a great reason. I don't want anybody to vote for Jaden Daniels because he plays in the Southeastern Conference any more than I want somebody to vote for Nix or Penix because they play in the Pac-12. Look at the body of work. trust the stats and then what your eyeballs tell you and what you got, and just say, hey, who do I think is the best player in the country? And if you think that's Nix, I can't tell you you're wrong. Nix has had a great year. Penix has had a great year. Their teams have had great years. I think Daniels has been better, but that's my opinion. If you've got, if you got it that you think Nix is better, that's fine. But don't tell me that Nix is better because if Daniels was out there, he'd be holding a clipboard, because now you've revealed your ignorance. Okay, unfortunately, I opened Twitter up again to get to pick up a stat from one of the sites that I was following, and unfortunately, I stumbled onto something else that suggested that Jaden Daniels was stat padding. Okay, if I quit reading after 2 posts, because if you think Jaden Daniels is stat padding with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here in a 5-point game, then you are not intelligent enough to have a conversation.
We had to have that last touchdown.
Yeah,
had to.
If you think he's stat padding, then that's like me going to NASA and talking to them about how to launch a rocket. Okay, I got no idea. Okay, I watched the rocket go up, and that's all I know. If that's your argument, that Daniels is stat padded, or that he's in these games that don't mean anything, then you're no longer intelligent enough to have a discussion with. If that's your take. If your take is, I think Nix had a better year because the games he played in were more important because they led to a championship, I respect that. Okay, I don't necessarily agree with it for this award, but I
padded today.
Nix.
No,
Daniels,
what you just read. I mean, that's
the one unfortunate thing that I saw, and like I said, and I immediately, right, exactly. It's not.
You win the game by 12. You're up 5. You have to get that touchdown to feel good right there. You have to do that. And if you want to talk about stat padding, we end the game with 1st and goal with a kneel down.
It's ridiculous. There's been almost no stat padding for Daniels.
I would agree a little bit. Last week
you got a case. We talked about it. The last drive, they could have done without that.
No, I'm still having a heart attack if we don't get those touchdowns and we're only up by 5.
Yes, absolutely. Ed is in North Carolina. Ed, welcome into the show.
Hey, thank you guys for taking my call.
Sure.
And I'll let go the couple callers go sentiment about you, Charles. I sure hope you're around for a long time to come.
Well, I tell you what, so does my wife. I think she's encouraging me to get in better shape.
What type of life insurance
thanks.
you got?
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You bet. But anyway, you touched on a couple things about Deshaun Womack. I, for the life of me, can't figure out why he hasn't played more this year. And then the other thing you touched on was anybody with half football brain can see he should be on the field ahead of Space. I don't get that. I don't get that. But
right,
anyway,
well, I think we lost it, but okay. But I can get to we asked Gordy about Womack a couple of weeks ago. I think it was the week of the Alabama game might have been. And he said, listen, I went to practice, and the young man's just still kind of struggling to grasp everything that they want him to do. Okay, teach him one thing. That's anytime that I hear that, I just think back to that Nick Saban conversation with Jimbo Fisher about Skylar Green. And he says, why can't you put Skylar Green on the field? Jimbo says, he doesn't know the offense. I said, Jimbo, teach him one play, okay? I don't need Deshaun Womack to know chapter and verse every single – don't tell me what he can't do. Tell me what he can do, because there's some talent there. And I wish that they had pushed him to the front a little bit more. Put him in on one package, okay? You only go in on 3rd and 6 or more if there's, certain formations, but hang tight. And on those plays, you rush the passer, okay? Teach him one defense, okay? I don't need him to be a football savant on every defense. Teach him one defense. So I agree with you there. Weeks, we have we've sort of debated about where he's been the last few weeks. He wasn't playing. And he was never listed on the injury reports.
I needed stitches.
Yeah, but then there were a couple of social media posts from I think his brother and from Bramblett. Anyway, free 40. And so Kelly said last week, well, he had a cut on his foot, and they didn't want to bust the stitches, and they need him for this game. Okay. I'll take your word for it, but I never talked about him on the injury report, and the social media posts were a little bit cryptic. So was it this cut on his foot, or was it something else in at least one or two of those games? I'm not saying he doesn't have a cut on his foot. I'm saying, was it something before that kept him out? It is not his play that has kept him off the field. And I think he's a very important part of what they're going to be doing
I think
moving forward.
That's one thing that, I don't want to say I would disagree with Brian Kelly, because he's a brilliant coach, been doing this a long time, but I think he's a stickler to his rules, his expectations, your knowledge of the game, and what he wants you to do before he plays you. We saw this with Harold Perkins. He said he's not ready, but when we watch him, he's flashing. Same with Whit Weeks, same with Deshaun Womack. I think he's a stickler to knowing everything that he wants you to do, and he talked about in the postgame today about every player you see is going to be better than next year. He said, we want to progress them, we want to develop them, and I want them to understand fully of what we're trying to get them done.
And I respect that.
I'm with you as well, though. Just come up with a package.
If there's something that every one of them's got something that they can do. Okay, so if they're not capable of playing, 65 snaps in a game, let's see if we can get them 12, and maybe one of those 12 had a half a sack today. Had a sack in, was it the Auburn game? I forgot whichever one it was. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LeBerge hotline. Ed is in North Carolina. Ed, welcome to the show. Ed, go ahead. All right, I'll tell you what, let's move on. Greg in New Iberia. Greg, welcome into the show.
Go ahead.
Greg, Ed, anyone, Bueller? All right, Michael, give me somebody. Give me whoever's next.
Paul.
Hey, Paul. Paul's in New Orleans. Paul, welcome into the show.
Hey, how you doing? I know. Everybody's talking about the defense, and the talent in the secondary. But one of the things that my wife and I noticed, and during the game, I watched the sideline as much as the game, and it seemed like the defensive line coach had some health issues or something, and was replaced by another coach. And just watching it during the course of the season, there wasn't a lot of interaction with those D-line guys during the game until they got Pete Jenkins. And then you saw a lot of that play improve. And so my issue with management is that how does it take you half a season to realize you need to start getting some more coaches shoring up the staff? And so I think there's a story there. I'd like to hear your comments about it, and I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, thanks. They got dealt a blow when they lost Lindsey Ryan Lindsey at the pretty much on the eve of camp, and so this is not an easy time to go out and hire a football coach at the beginning of August. So they had to scramble a little bit, and it took them a little bit of time to get straight.
And Kelly admitted that once they brought Pete on, he's like, "Look, we kind of neglected the D line.
We should have done this earlier." So I don't think that Kelly would disagree with you. Now that being said, moving forward, Kelly's got, and I'm sure he's been thinking about this for quite a while, because the problems that they had defensively today were not new.
Yeah.
Okay. Third down has been a problem for 2 years. And so Kelly's going to have to start at the top with the coordinator, go through the coordinator, go through every coach, go through every scheme, go through every player, and say, what do we have that's worked? What do we have that hasn't? What can we replace? What can we change? What can we improve with what's here? And it's going to be a long evaluation process. There's a lot to do there. Some of this stuff I think you can start to fix in bowl practices. It's not going to maybe, you're not going to get the fruits of that in the bowl game necessarily 100%, but you're going to get some of that working.
There's missing parts to be. I mean, there's still missing parts.
There are. You're going to have a recruiting class. You're going to have the transfer portal, and the staffs never stay the same from top to bottom, year to year.
Most of those guys are looking for another job as well. I mean,
there's always going to be some change in the staff. Even after you have good years, they leave. Sometimes they get promoted.
I don't think I ever played with the same staff in back-to-back years.
I don't ever remember the same staff back-to-back years since I've been covering the team. So there's going to be some changes. And who and what those changes are, I don't know yet. But this is one thing I can tell you, absolutely guaranteed. there's no way that Brian Kelly looks at it and goes, yes, everything that we're doing on defense is fine, and we're just going to go into next year and do the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't do that,
No.
and he won't. He won't do that.
He gets it, and I've said it. Once you watch film review, and we've talked about it on the podcast a lot of times, Matt House isn't a bad coach. I mean, something's not clicking right now, but there's so many times when I watch the film, it's players not making plays. I mean, all the time. Now he's responsible for those players to make plays, so it kind of goes both ways. I mean, something has gotten awry, gotten away, because it's I'm trying to think. It's the intent on every play. There's so many guys just like making a mistake. I mean, I thought today we were playing really well, and then you had one guy blow a coverage. You had one guy stay on a block too long. You had one guy read a run. I mean, he's got to fix that, but it frustrates me when you really go back and watch the film. I like the defense that was called, and the plays weren't made.
House came here as a star in the making. His career path was pretty good when he got here. He had been a very successful coordinator at Kentucky, and then he'd gone to the NFL, and he'd been on Andy Reid's staff for a couple of years. It reminded me a little bit, it's not an exact comparison, but it reminded me a little bit of the career trajectory of Will Muschamp. Muschamp was on Saban's staff as a young defensive coordinator. Then when he went to the Dolphins with Saban so he could put some NFL stuff on his resume, he got that experience, and he came back to college as a defensive coordinator. Then he became a head coach. I think that's what I expected from Matt House when he got here. As a good coordinator at Kentucky, went to the NFL to get a taste of that. Was on a very successful. He's the Chiefs. I mean, okay. He comes here and he will be like Bo Pelini when he left for Nebraska. He'd be like Dave Aranda when he left for Baylor. You come here, you coordinate this defense, you can catapult it into a head coaching job. That didn't happen.
No.
Okay, so they got to figure out what went wrong and how it went wrong and how do you fix it.
Yeah, and look, it's the least talented defense we've had in a while. There's parts of it coming back that are really well. You can go back as far as you want. Corner, safety, it's the least talented we've had in the secondary as far as I can remember. And a lot of that was guys just not making plays.
Yeah. Casey is in Youngsville. Casey, welcome into the show.
Charlie, happy Thanksgiving or post-Thanksgiving to you, sir.
To you as well.
Hey, so actually not in Youngsville yet. On the way back, made our way to walk on. Now we're finally on the road. So wanted to touch base, get your thoughts on what you thought of the 11 o'clock crowd that actually stayed into the game.
From what I could see, and I watched the game on television, I didn't go to the stadium today. It looked like a very good crowd. It looked like a loud crowd.
Oh yeah.
You had to stay till the end. If you were there, the game was in doubt into the very, very, final portions of the fourth quarter. The weather was great. I heard that the ovation for Daniels was massive, as it should have been. So, listen, nobody around here is ever going to throw a party about an 11 o'clock kickoff, but for an 11 o'clock kickoff, they had some things going for them today, between the weather and it being Daniels' last game and it being a somewhat important game with the Heisman and stuff, in play, the Bletnikoff in play. There've been worse 11 o'clock kickoffs. Let's put it that way.
You're right. Now let's talk because I'm on the way home. I need your post-game pour recommendations. I got a bottle of Four Roses. Single barrel.
Okay.
And I got
the
Jefferson's Oceans.
Okay.
And I got Old Reliable, the Woodford Reserve.
You can't go wrong with any of those.
Woodford, and that's just my take. That's what I would drink.
Woodford is outstanding. I might take the Four Roses tonight. But you can't go wrong with any of those. You got three solid selections.
Once you get through all the barricades out here, you're probably pretty good.
499-9898 is the.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate it. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. We are brought to you by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. You come in here to Rouse's and get your Supreme Rice, the brown, the long grain, the medium grain, the jasmine. Look, we're going to be doing a lot of cooking during the holiday season, so Make it with Supreme Rice for your gumbos, for your etouffees, for your jambalayas, for your red beans and rice. Make it with Supreme Rice. And support our Louisiana farmers down in southwest Louisiana since the 1930s. All of our Supreme Rice grown, milled, and processed in southwest Louisiana. And they're part of the Climate Smart program. You can see the Climate Smart logo on their packaging. This is going to ensure that future generations of farmers are able to take advantage of all of the things here that the state has to offer. This is going to reduce methane emissions. This is going to conserve water, and it's going to preserve future generations of Louisiana farmers. So pick it up here at Rouse's and all of your AG food stores, Supreme Rice. For more information and great recipes, go to supremerice.com. Auburn has the lead. They got the ball. They're knocking on the door. First down and goal, and Jordan Hare is lit, partner.
It's always, I love this game.
Yeah,
like out of all the games I ever watch, and the most lopsided, like Alabama's usually so much better than them, and it's still one of the best games every year.
I spend very, very little time rooting for Auburn, but this is 3.5 hours every year where unless the outcome affects LSU, that I absolutely wore damn Eagle.
No doubt. This is awesome.
499-9898 is the number to call. Is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Brandon Holly here. Siding, windows, even doors. ReliefWindows.com.
Eagle 98.1, WDGL and HD1 Baton Rouge.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
We're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues here from Rouse's. Burbank and Lee. We're brought to you in part by AJ's Sports Card, local card shop off of Drusilla, open 9:30 to 6 Monday through Friday and 9:30 until 2 on Saturday. Football, baseball, and basketball cards, also a good variety of Pokemon cards. New products coming in every single week, and for you collectors, all the supplies you need like cases and sleeves. Also, right now, they've got the Topps Chrome MVP buyback promotion that is going on right now. Refractors with more than 100 copies, you can trade them in for store credit of $100. If there's less than 100 copies, you can trade them in for 2. The Topps buyback program going on right now at AJ Sports Cards, again, located off of Drusilla. 499-9898 is the number to call. Christopher is in Chalmette. Christopher, welcome into the show.
Charlie, Rich, pretty good season. Wish we could had more, but other than that, I got two observations and one question. One, I'll take Tiger Stadium or Death Valley at 3/4 capacity because it's louder than anywhere else at full capacity in the country. Great crowd today. Two, wasn't a fan of the all-white uniforms, especially against conference opponents, but that's not my call. The question I have is, how do you get a Heisman vote other than winning the trophy yourself? Like, how do media members acquire those? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So there's regions that have heads, and they're vetted through that. For instance, Lee Corso is the head of the southeastern region, and they have heads there of each of these regions, and you're vetted basically. They look at it and say, okay, who do you work for? What do you do? What's your experience level? And, then you get a vote.
Do they ever take them away?
I can't say that they
should.
They may have at some point. That's not the kind of thing that they would probably publicize. I want to say it's 935 voters, of which 58 are former winners.
Yeah.
I always wanted to know, and nobody's ever been able to tell me if Archie Griffin gets to vote twice, because he's the only guy that's won it twice. But that's how they do it. They vet it through their region heads. Cody is in Birmingham. Cody, welcome into the show.
Thanks, Charlie. I got one question. Really. Since the bowl game's going to be a Florida Bowl, that's not worth as much. Would you, if Jaden wins the Heisman, would you start us and let him get a feeling for the offense for next year? And then what would you do with Malik and other receivers who might, with Sheldon and Jalen Brown from Florida? What would you do with the freshman receivers?
Okay.
If they want to play,
if Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors want to play in the bowl game, they get to play.
You celebrate those guys. I mean, look, they want them to play in the game. They're going to tell them they're going to make a decision regardless, and what's best for them. But if those guys are dressed out on the field, you don't waste watching them one more time. You let those guys go out there and play.
This is a good question to ask you. If the staff had come to you before your the bowl game your last year and said, "Look, man, you want to take this game off, not risk an injury. You're getting ready for the draft and play a young kid." How would you have taken that?
No way in hell I'm going to play with my guys one more time.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a different generation when I played. Nobody was sitting out a bowl game. You wanted to play it's your last opportunity. When there's something different when you know it's your last game. You know that you're going to put every effort into it. You're going to want to relish in it. You want to just soak in everything. And I can't imagine ever having an opportunity to play a college football game and not playing.
I know what he's asking is, can you get a jump start on next year? And I understand why he's asking the question, but the answer is, after all
that's
those
up
two
to
kids,
Jaden Daniels.
If those two kids, and listen, if they say, and Neighbors already say he's playing the bowl game, and I think that Daniels probably will too. If they said, "Hey, listen, we're gonna go prepare for the draft. I would get that, okay?
Yeah.
But if they want to play, you let them play.
Just the way I've seen the way these guys work, I think Malik going in to play again, it's a good chance they both play.
499-9898 is the number on the LaBerge hotline. Jonathan is in Baton Rouge. Jonathan, welcome into the show.
Yes, sir, Charlie. How you doing? Yes, sir, Charlie. How you doing?
Good, Jonathan.
Listen, I saw every game LSU played this year. I played all the home games. I look at them on TV. But one thing I did observe is that defense never made it. It never got any better. It was a defense that looked like it was put out on the field. But I said that to say this. If we don't make some changes somewhere in this defense, we're doomed for another repeated defense. What do you think about that?
I agree that the defense didn't make very much, if any progress at all. They gave up 45 points to Florida State and 494 yards in the opener. They gave up 30 points and 390 today. Was it 390 or 380, whatever it was.
Third-string quarterback.
Yeah, against a third-string quarterback. So, no, the improvement wasn't there, wasn't what they wanted to see. The execution wasn't there. The talent level is not there. They had poor tackling for most of the season. They had mix-ups in the secondary. They never developed a consistent pass rush. I never thought they got some of their better players really comfortable. I thought Perkins looked as comfortable as he's looked all year today, but it hasn't been as frequent as you'd want to see it. We talked about some of the guys, the young guys like Womack and Weeks that didn't play as much as we would have liked. All of the cornerbacks got hurt or dismissed or whatever they are. And then you also had some unfortunate things happen to you, like what happened to Greg Brooks. Yeah. So there were a lot of things happen to defense. The one thing I can guarantee you is they're not going to just look at it and go, everything's fine. Every coach stays the same. All the players stay the same. All the schemes stay the same. We're doing the right thing. No need to change anything. They're not going to do that.
He knows very likely
they're not going to do that.
Without Jaden Daniels, we were probably somewhere around a 500 team this year. I mean, you go back and look at him, I say without him, we're maybe a game over 500, maybe 2 games at best, but he knows that you have to make changes on the defense because Jaden Daniels is gone. He just broke every college record, SEC record, school record, FBS record, and without that, we don't win as many games.
Ordinarily, I don't like to make comparisons like that where if you remove this piece, then everything else happens the same way, right? Yeah. Because if Daniels isn't the quarterback, then they have to compensate some kind of other way, change the offense, change some personnel, change whatever. But in this case, I'm not sure there's another way to look at it.
There's not.
You had a historically great quarterback and a really, really, really leaky defense. So if Daniels hadn't been here and Nussmeier, whoever the quarterback was, had just had a good year, okay, not a great year even, okay. Let's say he had thrown for 3,000 yards, okay, instead of 3,500, or instead of accounting for 40 touchdowns, he had accounted for 32 touchdowns. That's going to cost you 2 or 3 games.
In your losses, you scored 24 points, 49 points, and 28 points. In your losses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty telling stat. You had an offensive number that usually comes with a win.
Yeah, I can't in good conscience look at it any other way. So, again, what are those changes going to be? I can't tell you specifically, but there are going to be some changes. It's not going to be God bless, but you're not going to hear the engine's pretty stinking good. Okay, the engine is not on the defensive engine. It's not pretty stinking good. It's just pretty stinking.
We only had 2 games scoring under 34 points this year.
Yeah, so we'll see what those changes are. And like I said, I think I suspect that you'll see some of this stuff worked on during bowl season. 499-9890 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. Charlie is in Lafayette. Charlie, welcome into the show.
Hey, how you doing, Charlie? Hey, how you doing, Charlie?
Good.
I enjoyed listening to y'all when I was, and I wanted to say all the compliments you get. But 6 years ago, I was the only one to call on the radio advocating a raise for you. You know, there's other people that didn't advocate a raise like I did.
So nice of all my family members to call the show.
You
sent out a mass text.
So,
thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it.
Anyway, I thought that the defense this year, B.J. Ojolari, Allie Gay, Harold Perkins a lot. Obviously, you had Brooks, you had Jay Ward, you had Makai Garner, you had Jared Bernard-Johnson, you had Jaquelin Roy. And a lot of it was talent. There is a problem with coaching not making adjustments too, but you still got to have Jimmys and Joes playing defense. And I think that's the key. Also, awesome players in the preseason, but you got to have coaching, but you got to have personnel too. And that's where I see it.
They missed. They missed on some transfer portal guys. There's no question that we thought.
You had a guy get hurt that we'll never know.
Yeah.
And you had some character problems.
You had a little bit of that. And I think it's part of why Brian Kelly would like to scale it back, if you can, on the number of transfer portal guys that you take. I'm not sure that's possible.
It's hard to play catch-up. I mean, especially in this day and age when people can leave, you got a free transfer.
Yeah. There's a reason why the most successful NFL franchises aren't built through free agency. They're built through the draft. And for college, it's similar. Most coaches that I know would rather build through recruiting, build a relationship with a young man in his high school years, recruit him for 2, maybe 3 seasons, get him to your camps, get to know him, get to know his family, have all of that as a basis for your relationship so that when you get him to campus,
you know what you're expecting.
You know what you're going to get, and you also have a much greater chance of retaining that player if he doesn't achieve instant success. It's not as easy with the transfer portal. Last year, it was pretty much great. Everybody, I mean, they got Jaden Daniels in the transfer portal last year, so it can work. And I don't think you can get out of it completely. Okay, I think they're trying that at Clemson, and he's short some pieces there, because as good as you can do, you're going to lose some people to the transfer portal that go out.
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter what you do. You win the national championship, you're still going to lose some guys. So you got to replace them some kind of way, and you can't. If you replace them with a freshman, then the freshman is maybe 2 years behind the experience level of the guy that you lost. You lost a guy that had been in your program for 2 years, decided to transfer out. So they've got to be careful with that, and I think he would like to do less of it than he's done the last 2 years. But I don't think he's given up the ghost on that, and I do think that there'll probably be 6, maybe 8. Out of the transfer portal. I know that we were initially projecting a few less than that, but I'm going to say 6 or 8.
We got to go after 4 safeties right now. I mean, think about Burns is gone, Sam's gone. I don't know who are other options we have right now.
You have some young safeties out in there, but you've also got some in the recruiting class. I don't think they're going to get 4 safeties out of the transfer portal.
4 DBs is what I'm thinking right now, but at least 2 safeties. I mean, look. Safety was a bad problem for us this year. We had a lot of bad safety play. A lot of the missed plays today were at the safety spot. I mean, that's a spot that definitely has to get improvement.
Last year they threw a bunch of numbers at the corner position, and it ended up not working very well. It wasn't all their fault, but it ended up not working too well.
You knew one of them you were gambling on. The other ones, you had an injury, and then something happened.
Just didn't work. All right, 24-20 Auburn, 6 minutes, 19 seconds to go. Alabama just receives a punt. They'll take over right about the 20-yard line, I think, somewhere. So Iron Bowl on the line here. We'll keep you up to date on that. Take a break, come back with more of your phone calls. LSU wins it today, 42-30. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
When it comes to ending cancer, We push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
98.1.
From Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. We were just talking during the break that we were actually at the sports bar in LaBerge when the Kick Six happened. One of the most famous endings of an Alabama-Auburn game, maybe the most famous ending, I guess. There have been some great, but Auburn.
It's 3 stops in a row.
Auburn has gotten a 3 and out here, so Alabama's going to punt them back the football. Just under 5 minutes to go. Auburn.
Oh,
he fumbled a punt.
We just talked about the Kick Six.
He fumbled a punt, and Alabama's going to recover it at about the 30. Oh boy. Okay. Let me not. Let me not say anything about that game. 14-14, Washington and Wazoo.
Let's talk about that one.
14-14. That's late in the.
That's a touchdown.
Late in the third quarter.
Knees never touched. He picked the ball up.
Yeah, but you can't. They're going to call it a muff, right?
Yeah.
You can't advance a muff. So they're going to get it at the spot of the recovery, which I think is somewhere around the 30-yard line. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. 499-9898. Craig is in New Iberia. Craig, welcome into the show.
Yeah, man. All right. So this is my thing. I had a beef with. The most aggravating part to me, I hate 11 o'clock kickoff games. But if you got a Heisman Trophy front runner, and you also have a Heisman Trophy front runner that got to play on prime time Friday night, why wouldn't you make sure that the other guy gets a prime time slot too? I don't know if the networks put that into consideration. Why does Jaden Daniels have to play 11 o'clock and his competition gets a prime time on Friday night?
Yeah, so you got two different television contracts there. You got a television contract with the Pac-12 and a television contract with the SEC. So we're talking about two different things here. They're not going to consult with each other. They're trying to beat each other. So what you're really talking about is the other SEC games. And why was this game put at 11 o'clock and not at 6:30? Well, and you don't have to like any of these, okay? First of all, ESPN got the Florida State game because the SEC is the home team there. Yeah. So they ended up taking that one. They wouldn't get that. They wouldn't get Florida State, okay? So you put Florida State, undefeated team. Again, they made this call 2 weeks ago before they knew about Jordan Travis. Yeah. So they're going to put Florida State, top 5 team, also with a Heisman Trophy candidate before he, broke his ankle. They're going to put them in that spot. Then the other game you get is South Carolina Clemson, which they also don't get every year. They get that every other year. They made that their SEC network game. Again, agree or disagree. And then the Iron Bowl was always going to be the 2:30 spot. It's the last year CBS has got the contract. It's the last Iron Bowl they're going to be able to do, and that's just the game they were going to take. So now they got to put something on against Michigan and Ohio State, something that's going to draw some kind of number somewhere. Okay, so instead of putting Tennessee and Vandy out, they put LSU and A&M. It didn't really have anything to do with the Heisman at all. And look, it stinks
You're playing
for LSU fans because they don't like the 11 o'clock starts.
No, I mean, with Texas A&M, with an interim coach, they're having an off season. We have 3 losses. It's just kind of the way it was going to fall.
And it wouldn't have mattered if they were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't like 11 o'clock kickoffs around here. So, listen, I've said my piece about the time slots and stuff like that. I was one of maybe 5 people in the whole world that actually liked the Friday slot when they first started doing it against Arkansas, because for a while there it was a standalone game or one of only a couple of games. Now you've got, I think it was 13 games we had yesterday. So I hate to use it is what it is, but it's TV contracts, it's dueling TV contracts, and they're always going to do what they think gets them the best number. And, oh, by the way, they didn't put Georgia on last week against Tennessee because they used them up enough times. CBS was always going to ride the highest-ranked team as long as they could. Yeah. And when LSU was number 1, they did the same thing with them. So, que sera.
I like the 11 o'clock games when we're doing the postgame, though.
Well, it does get you home a little bit earlier. Let's see. Jules is in Abbeville. Jules, welcome into the show.
Charlie.
Hey, Jules.
Big and rich. That's my name.
What's going on?
That's my name for Richard.
Okay.
I got a bad feedback.
Right,
you know Alabama's gonna pull us out.
Probably. They just converted. They just converted almost a 3rd and 20.
Was it 4th and inches? It got stopped right at the inch line.
They're gonna make it. Anyway, so we're watching.
I agree with the previous caller. Where's the traditional uniform? The defense has not improved at all during the year. We need better players. I know y'all think these guys are good enough. I don't think so. Number one, can't tackle.
Wait. Stop. Hang on. Don't. Hang on right there. When did you hear us say that they've got good enough players? Never came out of my mouth, promise you. Never came out of Rich's mouth, promise you. Not saying they don't have. What we said was they're pieces. There are some good players there. Not one time this year have we said there's plenty enough good players on that defense. Not once.
Okay.
So don't. I'm not getting hung with that one because I didn't say that.
All right. I'll let you slide on that.
Retract your statement, sir. I didn't say that.
But they need much better players. They currently have.
They do.
Yes. No. We agree on that.
And the best part of the day is this show. This is what makes my day.
Well, hey, look, we getting love tonight, man. I don't know if it's the last show or what, but we got a lot of love coming tonight. Hey, look, Jules, I appreciate you saying that.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Dismiss Angel Reese. Bye.
Okay. We'll see what. She didn't get to go to Caymans, I know that. So we'll see what Kim Mulkey says when they get back.
That hit right there was.
I suspect that she will be back when they play Virginia Tech next week, but that's just a guess. 499-9898 is the number to call. We'll take a break here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to
98.1. The loveliest little village on the plains. The snap goes through Jalen Milroe and all the way back. Let me see if we can get a.
He goes to make a check and the guy snaps it.
Yeah, 26-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 26. There's a minute and 5 seconds, and the clock is moving. Alabama does have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Auburn leading this thing 24-20. Milroe back on 3rd and goal from the 26. Trying to buy himself some time, still buying, still looking. He's he's past the line of scrimmage now. He can't throw it. That's an illegal forward pass. Yeah, that's loss of down.
Yep, they threw the flag.
That's loss of down. He is well past. His entire body goes well past the 26-yard line.
Oh,
by he's a full yard past the 26-yard line. This completion is – well, he didn't catch it anyway.
Yeah.
But that's going to be an illegal forward pass. This is going to be 4th and goal
from the 40,
out
35.
That's a
10.
Is it a 10-yard penalty or a 5? It's a 10-yard penalty. So I'm
26, 36.
36-yard line, 4th and goal from the 36, with 43 seconds to go. Wow. Okay.
Now, what is Nick trying to talk to him about right here?
This one is not close. This one is not close. Not close at all. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. 499-9898 is the number to call on the LaBerge hotline. Joe is in Opelousas. Joe, welcome into the show.
Good evening, fellas. A couple of comments. I hope when you give out game balls a little later that you will consider the long snapper at a key punt in the 3rd quarter, I believe it was. He made a great effort play on that tackle on punt, and if you were in the stadium, that little life got in the defense after that, a little juice to the stadium. I thought it was a great play at a crucial time. Also, I noted early in the game, Harold Perkins was off the field on 3rd down a lot, and I don't know if it was a specific personnel grouping that had him off the field, but I'm no rocket scientist, but Harold Perkins not being on the field on 3rd down seems like a really, really bad idea to me. Late in the game, he was on there in 3rd down, and I thought it made a difference. So you have a great show and have a good evening.
Thank you. Good call on the long snap. I thought that was
great play.
Yeah, it really was.
Held on with his fingers to bring it down to the end.
Yeah. I don't have a play chart as far as participation in front of me, so I can't speak to how many of the games, how many of the 3rd downs that Perkins was out on. But I thought he was out there a lot. Now,
yeah.
I wasn't in the stadium, so maybe I missed a little bit.
I'd have to go back and look at it. And the only thing I could think of is they were putting a lot of pressure on him at that Sam Nichols spot with a lot of play action, which was making him step up for the run, and they're getting out routes behind him.
Yeah.
And maybe that was when they were trying to transition out of that to that cover 2 trail, put him back in the spy. There might have been a transition period where they're trying to figure out what to do. But I'd have to go back and look at it.
I thought he looked the most comfortable he has looked this year.
Yeah.
For a lot of the game today. 5-yard penalty, actually. Okay. 31-yard line's the line of scrimmage. Lost it down, so it's 4th and goal for Alabama from the 31-yard line. We've seen some odd things in this series before, but
like the snap that just happened. I mean, out of all the things to go wrong in that's not what you were looking for.
Auburn, who a week ago lost to New Mexico State by 3 touchdowns. But
this game. It's this game.
Well, they played Georgia very tough.
Yeah.
That was not a fluke that day.
That's a team that got better all year except for that game. I didn't watch that game. I don't know what happened in that game. Obviously, the score was bad.
Bowers made the play to win it. The pass to Bowers, it was a long touchdown pass at 40, 50 yards maybe, inside of 4 minutes, something like that. I'm doing this out of my head. So it's something along those lines. It's 27-20. It was all Ole Miss could do to get out of there with a win. Now, they had a 2-score lead at some points in the second half, but they ended up winning the game by touchdown. So that was tough.
No, what I was talking about is Auburn's played better except for that New Mexico game. I didn't watch that game. I don't know what happened in that game.
At home, too.
Yeah.
They probably, other than New Mexico State, probably the worst game of the year was at LSU.
Yeah.
That was when they got really thumped.
All
right, here comes the ball to the end zone, and it is.
Touchdown.
Are you kidding me?
Touchdown.
No, that's just, they caught the ball in the back of the end zone. You have got to be kidding me.
4th and goal from the 31.
4th and goal from the 31, and he caught the ball in the back of the end zone. Kiss my grits. Are you kidding me? Isaiah Bond in the back of the end zone.
What were they doing? They rushed 3, but they got him one-on-one in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, if you're going to have a one-on-one.
You flood the – look at it. Oh, my.
Oh, man. Come on. 32 seconds to go. I don't – what the hell kind of coverage were they playing?
I have no clue. He gets 2 feet in.
30. Okay, well, 32 seconds to go.
What were the odds on that? I look at the win prediction. You know how they do it running through the score? It probably dropped to like 1%
I
point.
would say it was, Auburn was probably 99%.
Yeah.
Maybe 99.9 or something like that.
I'm glad I'm not an Auburn fan.
How many 4th and 31s have been converted this year outside of bailout penalties, like a PI or something? Or hands to the face.
One for sure.
This one and maybe nothing else. So they got to kick the extra point, and it'll make it a 27-24 game. Auburn and Alabama, excuse me, and they'll have to kick it off. Okay, yikes.
We brought up kick 6 and all this stuff goes to crap.
Maybe we should have shut up. Is this our fault? Okay, look, we're going to look at the
3
replay
across
here.
The back, one guy. This safety gets bent over when they try to do the crossing. That's what happened right there.
Oh, man.
That was a good route combination.
He came so close to stepping out of the back of the end zone before he –
a little push-off.
You got to go back a few more. Act like the TV producer can hear me. Rewind that for me, please. Yikes. Okay. Lost my whole train of thought.
That just blew my mind.
Lost my whole train of thought. I can't believe that they converted
Watch
that.
Watch these guys' faces.
Yeah, we're watching the Auburn sideline right now, and the shock and disbelief.
Unreal. I mean, this game, it provides something crazy almost every year.
So who do they let's see if we can find out about Auburn's kicker right now. You got to excuse us. We're just we're a little bit stunned right now.
Are you gonna need some?
They got any Carlsons left? Is it no? It's
do not take this out. That was dumb.
McPherson.
Dumb.
Oh, great! McPherson hadn't missed a kick all year. He's 12 for 12.
They now have to go, and they're on the 9-yard line because they decided to take it out. Oh, look at the fight right here.
Throw a flag on Alabama. What am I saying? They're not going to throw a flag on Alabama. Dumbest thing I've said today. They're not going to throw a flag on Alabama. Okay,
that's the longest fight to go without a flag being thrown. Though.
Yeah. Getting a little bit chippy because Boyd
you got coaches on the field breaking it up, and there's no flags. It's Alabama. You said it.
Okay, but I can understand them not wanting to throw a flag on either team at this point unless it's just completely, completely unavoidable to do it. Okay, so Alex McPherson is 12 for 12 on field goals this year, and his long is 53. So you got to get to somewhere.
You're on the 10.
You got to get somewhere around the 35-yard line to give him a reasonable shot at this.
30 seconds. I know because they decided to take it back. Oh, he might have broke his arm on that.
Was that what started the fight?
I think he might have hurt it in the fight.
Yeah. Okay.
26 seconds.
26 seconds. They are on the 14-yard line.
They gave him forward progress.
15-yard line. 15-yard line. 26 seconds to go. Auburn is out of timeouts as well, just in case this wasn't going to be hard enough.
Fumble it. Score it. Go up again.
Look at this. You got to run. You got to run. He's tackled back inside the 5-yard line. They rule him down the end zone. The quarterback had the ball knocked out of his hands. Goes all the way back into the end zone. The clock is running. 6 seconds, 5. All you got to do is go 99 yards. I don't even think they can get it snapped. They do get it snapped. And
not looking.
Interception. And he's going to score. So make that 33-24 is going to be your final. What was the total in this game? What was the did it just go over?
Possible bad beat right there.
Something happened on that a pick six for I mean, Alabama was dead to rights. They were going to
lose. 4th and 31.
4th and 31. They were dead to rights, and not only they're going to win now, but they're not going to cover. Total was let's see, it was 27.
47.
No, it was already over. Yeah. It was already over. So okay, that wasn't any fun at all. Let's take a break here. We're going to regroup. But Alabama's going to win the Iron Bowl. Bizarre ending as per usual, I guess. We don't have a big dog in the fight here. I
like watching Alabama lose.
Right. I just don't particularly like Alabama. We'll take a break. Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues here from Rouse's. Alabama wins the Iron Bowl 27-24. You brought up a good point. It wasn't a bad beat as far as the total on the last play, but it was certainly a bad beat on the over as far as the 4th and 31.
Yeah.
Goal from the 31
They scored 13 points with 30 seconds left in the game.
Yes, exactly. As my friend Steve just texted to me, he says, hate's not a strong enough word. Yeah. Rich, I want to ask you about third down as we start to wind down here a little bit. LSU today, again, was atrocious on third down. The third down defense, they only caused 1 punt, and they also had a
missed field
goal and the interception, okay? And the other stop was a drop on the first drive of the game, which would have been a first down. So most of these drives continued. They were 9 out of 18 on third down and 3 out of 5 on fourth down for the day. This is probably for me, the most infuriating part of what has ailed them defensively the last 2 years. Last year, and this is not a one game, this is not a one-off, this is not even a 1 year. LSU was 74th in the nation last year, third down defense allowed. That number has gone down this year to, going into today's game, 116 out of 133, okay? So you are the worst. The only team worse than you in the league is Vandy, okay? You don't want to be in the you don't want to be grouped in that particular quadrant. So you tell me, when you're trying to revamp third down defenses, where do you start? Because this is a 2-year problem. Okay, we've got enough of a sample size. We have now seen 26 games of this, and they can't get off the field on third down.
My biggest thing is, last year my complaint with Matt House was soft coverage. Playing off, allowing all the 5- and 7-yard routes with no pressure. This year, the same deal. I don't know if it's a mix of they're not confident in playing press coverage, and so our best option is try to react, but it's a problem because there's so many times where in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, they curl up at the lines and they're wide open. I mean, every single time. And it's frustrating to me because we played man press across the line. You weren't giving them any easy yards. You had to beat them off the line to get there, and that's one of the things that my biggest problem with Matt House is they allow that soft coverage, and they do it time and time again. I complained about it last year. I complained about it this year. And I think, I quit complaining about it this year because I got tired of getting beat over the top. So I'm like, okay, just play soft then. But, it's a problem, and it allows that. It wears your defense out. And not to mention the way, 9 of 11 at halftime?
9 of was it 9 of 11 at halftime? 7 of 11.
7 of 11 at halftime.
7 of 11 at halftime, but 2 of 3 on fourth down.
2 of 3 on fourth down.
9 conversions.
That's a killer. I mean, that's when you start losing confidence on the defense. That's when your D-line gets tired. That's when the big guys get worn out. You do everything to get to a third down, third and medium, third and long. I'd like to see what the average third down was because I felt like it was 3rd and 6 plus most of the time.
I don't have the whole number, but I can tell you that on the first drive, their first touchdown drive, they converted on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 11, and 3rd and 12, and 4th and 1. That was the first touchdown drive. Later in the half, the last touchdown drive, the one that went right up against the break, they converted on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 4th and 1, and then the touchdown came on a 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, I'd say it averaged out 3rd, 6, 3rd and 7.
Something.
3rd and long considering. It's frustrating because that's kind of what I was talking about earlier in the game. Those D linemen, we were making plays getting on the quarterback. They'd get to 3rd and long, and then we play soft coverage. Somebody's wide open. That is a stat that kills you. I mean, winning 3rd downs is one of the biggest things you talk about in your defensive room.
Okay, let's talk about the culprit is the soft coverage. I agree with you. Let me go to 1A, all right, which is lack of a pass rush. Sacks are not the only defining characteristic of pass rush, but it gives us
a bad throw.
Yeah, it gives us some kind of indication. Last year, LSU was 53rd in the country in sacks. This year, coming into today's game, they were 80th in sacks with 22 sacks on the season. So you're not getting, and they had 1 sack today. So you're going to end up right about where you were. Soft coverage and no pass rush will get you beat on 3rd down.
Every time.
What's easier to fix, okay? Do you blitz more? I mean, look, the easiest way to fix this thing is go get 2 lockdown corners and call it a day, or 3 lockdown corners.
You blitz more if you're confident with your secondary. You play back soft when you're not confident with your secondary, but you need a rush to get there. I mean, it's like
chicken and the egg.
It's the chicken and the egg right there. You got to have one of them. I think what's easiest to fix it's not very easy.
None of this is easy
because the
to
problem
fix.
is, most of your sacks come from great coverage. You get a lot of coverage sacks. We're not getting coverage sacks right now. I mean, so you're missing that air to it. Then you're not having guys beat their one-on-ones. It's tough. I mean, you've got to get better at your coverage to increase your sacks.
It's almost like in basketball. You say, well, how do you get better at free throws? Okay, same 15 feet. Okay, how do you get better at free throws? And you can. I've seen coaches describe this every different way. You can shoot them at the beginning of practice. You can shoot them in the middle of practice. You can shoot them at the end of practice. You can shoot them with running. If you miss the free throws, everybody's got to run, so you simulate pressure and all that stuff. At the end of the day, there's really only one sure. And Ed Palubinskas, you heard me say this. I'm sure he would. Tell me I'm nuts because maybe the greatest free throw teacher ever. But the one surefire way to get a better free throw shooting team, there's only one that absolutely works 100% of the time. Go recruit better shooters. Okay, so to fix the 3rd down problem is you just got to recruit better cover guys.
Yeah.
You got to recruit better pass rushers. There's a development piece to be sure here. And some of the guys on that defense haven't developed quite as fast as we wanted them to, but you got to go recruit. You have to upgrade the level of talent that you have there.
Those are the 2 positions that play off each other. I mean, you can have bad coverage, but you got a great pass rush. It hides that. You can have a okay pass rush with great coverage. It hides that. But when you're missing on both ends, it just causes for a 9 of 18 night on 3rd down with 3 of 5 on 4th?
No, and these long drives that they put together against LSU, the first touchdown drive was 17 plays. The last drive of the first half was 13 plays. The first drive of the second half was a little bit different. They never even got to 3rd down until the last play of the drive. They ripped off 2 or 3 first downs in a row. That was 7 plays and 75 yards. They had as good a game plan as you can have against LSU. A&M's got a pretty good defense. That's a really
number 1 defense in the conference.
It was I think it was yards. Okay. That's a really good defense, and the only way you can play against this LSU offense is to keep them off the field.
Yeah.
No matter how good your defensive personnel is, they will crack at some point.
Yeah. Jaden completed 16 passes today.
Yeah,
and had a touchdown on every 4th throw, just about.
Well, yeah, the yardstick, which we're going to do in a minute, was almost equal, 389 to 390. That's as close as you can get.
At one point, they had 30 more plays than us.
How many plays do you think they finished more than LSU for the same amount of yards?
At least 20?
24.
Okay.
24 more plays, and the time possession 36 and change to 23 and change. At halftime, it was like Jaden Daniels playing bad? No, he's just not playing.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't been out there.
He had like 7 or 8 pass attempts in the first half.
Yeah, it's not that he's playing bad. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back in Florida. Florida State is starting right now. We are at Rouse's, corner of Burbank and Lee. Come here for all of your holiday shopping, all of your beer, your wine, your spirits, all of your groceries, and of course you can get them here at Rouse's. And don't forget to download the mobile app. Makes your shopping so much easier here at Rouse's, Burbank and Lee. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Stat Check. Presented by Luba. Luba, genuine dependability.
Yardstick, A&M with 22 first downs, LSU with 21. We told you that the total yards almost dead equal. 390 for A&M, 389 for LSU. 294 passing for A&M, 235 for LSU. Tigers rushed for 154 yards on 28 carries for a 5.5-yard average. This is one of the good things you can talk about on the defense. They held A&M to 96 yards on 41 carries, 2.3 yards per rush.
Like we said, this is one of those games where the front seven played pretty good tonight.
That led them to a lot of those 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11s. You know, they got backed up behind the chains, and they just converted them for a lot of the night. Penalties: 6 for 70 for LSU, 4 for 40 for Texas A&M. 1 turnover was the interception for Texas A&M. And here's the kind of the story of the game for at least the first 3 quarters. A&M 9 of 18 on 3rd down and 3 of 5 on 4th down. LSU was 5 of 9 on 3rd down, 1 of 1 on 4th down. That was one of the biggest plays of the game. That 4th and 4 in the 3rd quarter. They're right up around midfield, and it's 4th and 4, and Daniels takes off for a 45-yard gain, sets them up first and goal. A monster play in the game. And that, of course, led to the time possession edge for Texas A&M, 36-39 to 23-21. Individually, Jaden Daniels, 16 of 24, 235 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air. Jalen Henderson, I thought, played really well today. It didn't look like a third-string quarterback for a lot of that.
71% completion.
25 of 35 for 294, 2 touchdowns, and the interception, which is a pretty athletic play by Greg Penn, I thought.
Yeah, he got away with a couple ones that, Henderson. Burns should have had an interception on the back on a bad throw. There was a couple things he got away with, but, they took advantage of it and made a lot of plays.
Rushing, LSU's Jaden Daniels, 11 carries for 120 yards. Logan Diggs, 5 for 17 and a touchdown. Le'Veon Moss, 9 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown for Texas A&M. Receiving, Malik Neighbors becomes LSU's all-time leading receiver in receptions. He had 6 catches today for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brian Thomas remains, at least as far as I've seen, the nation's leader in touchdown catches. He had another one today, 5 catches for 58 yards overall. Kyron Lacey only caught 1 ball today, but it was for 15 yards and a touchdown. Jade Walker, 4 catches for 80 yards for A&M. Max Wright, 2 for 60 and a touchdown. Defensively, Harold Perkins led the way for LSU with 9 tackles, including 6 solos, a half a sack, and a tackle and a half for loss. Andre Sam also had 9 tackles today. Jacoby Matthews, remember that name? Out of Louisiana, 8 tackles today, a half a sack, and 1 pass defensed. Edrin Cooper also had 8 tackles today. Punting, A&M punted once for 52 yards. LSU punted 3 times for 43 yards.
That's the most work he's gotten in a while.
Yeah, Bramlett actually had to go to work today. He's had a wonderful seat for just to be able to watch all of this, right? And LSU got 1 punt return for 10 yards from Gregory Clayton. While we're talking about the defense and things that they've got to fix here, they've got to do something about the special teams.
No doubt.
I thought I actually went and did the yardstick. The average starting field position was exactly the same. It was the 30-yard line. But, boy, sure didn't feel like that. I was surprised when I got
in the second half. Early on, we were
turnover
playing,
was a big field flipper. But A&M had 120 yards in kick returns today, and LSU had 36. So there's some things with the special teams that have to be fixed. I don't think that the coverage has been terrible all year, but there's been some big gaps in it at times, and they're getting almost nothing out of the return game for the second straight year. So the specialists themselves, Bramlett and Ramos, have been fine, but the coverage units.
I'll have a little bit of complaint with, for the longest time, we were just kicking out the back of the end zone like everybody does to us.
Yeah.
And we're not kicking out the back of the end zone anymore. We're kicking it to the 5, the 2. We're kicking it in the corner.
In their defense today, their kickoff specialist was out. I don't know if he tweaked something in pregame or.
They got hit on that long return. Speaking of coverage.
That's it. That's what it was. So So Ramos had to kick off after that.
But they put a different guy in there, I want to say, at one point.
I thought
They
it was
tried
Ramos.
a guy. They might have gone back to Ramos. I think they tried another guy.
Okay.
But it was all about the same.
But that's just today.
Yeah.
In general,
we got a lot of guys returning against us this year, I felt like.
it's too much.
Yeah.
They're losing the field position battle too much.
We returned 1 or 2 kicks a game versus it seems like everybody else is getting even more opportunity.
21-21 in Seattle. Washington State's got the ball with 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go, and they're up around their own 45-yard line. We'll keep you up to date on that and give you the rest of the scores in college football when we come back here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
The interior of an Infiniti is thoughtfully designed to be all about you. And by you, we mean every version of you. Because there's luxury you can feel, and there's luxury that lets you feel. Infinitely you. Experience luxury like never before with Infiniti Premium Care, included with the 2023 QX80 at your local retailer.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson
98.1. The Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln College Football Scoreboard. Robinson Brothers Ford Lincoln, on air line into the giant American flag.
All right, let's get you up to date what's going on. Double overtime in Stillwater. Number 20, Oklahoma State has just scored to make it 40-34. BYU has the football. They had to go for 2, and they didn't make it. This is important because if Oklahoma State, Kansas State both win, then you get into the tiebreaker rules in the Big 12 to see who's Oklahoma won yesterday, to see who's going to the Big 12 championship game. Kansas State goes here in about an hour. Maryland leads Rutgers 42-24 with 30 seconds to go. Washington has just gotten the football back from Washington State. They're tied at 21. Minute 53 to go. They will start this drive at their own 10-yard line. Michael Penix trying to keep Washington undefeated going into the Pac-12 championship game. They got a little bit of real estate in front of them. Just underway, games in Gainesville, number 5, Florida State and Florida are scoreless. Florida missed a early field goal. Number 18, Notre Dame leads Stanford 7-3. That's late in the first quarter. Also late in the first quarter, West Virginia leads Baylor 7-0. Excuse me. Going to be a soul-searching offseason for Dave Miranda's
I was about to say,
group.
do you think they let him go another year? Is there any pressure on him?
There's a lot of pressure on him. I think he's back next year, but that's just a guess. I don't know that for sure. Texas State leads South Alabama 14-0. Earlier finals today. And by the way, that Maryland game is now going final 42-24. And Tennessee has just gone final. They beat Vandy 48-24. The big one in Ann Arbor, number 3 Michigan beat number 2 Ohio State 30-24. Blake Corum had a couple of touchdowns for Michigan. Kyle McCord threw 2 interceptions, but the first one was the one that was really costly. Set up Michigan with a short field inside the 10-yard line to get their first touchdown of the day. 4th down and 1 for Washington right now. Number 8 Alabama beats Auburn 27-24. They convert a 4th and goal from the 31-yard line.
Get a muff punt to get the opportunity.
Yes, exactly. Auburn had this game. This one will be a very, very tough one for Hugh Freeze and his group to swallow, because if they feel that punt and just extinguish Alabama's timeouts and punt the football, it's going to be really, really hard for the Tide. And then they get 4th and 31, so yikes. Kentucky hands number 10 Louisville just their second loss of the season, 38-31 Cats. Ray Davis ran for 76 yards and a touchdown. Number 15 Arizona beat Arizona State 59-23. What a job for Jed Fish, the third-year coach at Arizona. Took over a group 1-15 his first year, 1-11 his first year, 7 wins last year, and now 9 wins this season. His name is moving around for some jobs, including the Texas A&M job. Mike Stoops' name is also going around there. Fish is a promising young coach. He's done a heck of a job there at Arizona. And the freshman, Noah Fafita, 524 yards, 4 touchdowns today for Arizona.
Look at this. They're going for the fake.
No, they're trying to draw them off sides. We'll see if Washington punts here. Number 25, Liberty closes out a 12-0 regular season. They beat UTEP 42-28. Purdue wins the Old Oaken Bucket. Congratulations, Gordy. 35-31 over Indiana. Sam Houston beats Middle Tennessee 23-20. UConn over UMass 31-18. Duke beats Pittsburgh 30-19. It was a promising start for Mike Elko and the Blue Devils, 4-0 in September, but injuries to the quarterback Riley Leonard and a few other things caught up with them. They finished the season 7-5 regular season. UCF beats Houston 27-13. That gets UCF bowl eligible. SMU beats Navy 59-14. That puts SMU into the American Championship game against Tulane, who won yesterday. Troy beat Southern Miss 35-17. Northern Illinois over Kent State 37-27. Miami of Ohio over Ball State 17-15. It was Rice over Florida Atlantic 24-21. Syracuse gets bowl eligible for the interim coach. They beat Wake Forest 35-31. Tulsa beat East Carolina 29-27. North Texas beat UAB 45-42. It was Old Dominion over Georgia State 25-24. Western Kentucky beat Florida International 41-28. Utah over Colorado 23-17. Buffaloes finished the season at 4-8. Shedeur Sanders did not play in this game. UL Lafayette gets bowl eligible. They beat UL Monroe 52-21. San Jose State over UNLV 37-31. Three-way tie in the Mountain West for first place. Northwestern beat Illinois in a surprisingly high-scoring game, 45-43. Talk about great coaching jobs. David Blau had to take over in the middle of the summer for Pat Fitzgerald because of a hazing incident. Yeah. They win 7 games on the season. Wisconsin beats Minnesota 28-14. It was Virginia Tech over Virginia 55-17. Hokies get bowl eligible with that win. App State beat Georgia Southern 55-27. It was James Madison over Coastal Carolina 56-14. Dukes finish at 11-1. Next year, they can go to a bowl. Actually, there's not enough teams this year, but we're going to do the math at the end of the night. Marshall beat Arkansas State 35-31. Thundering Herd get bowl eligible with that win. New Mexico State beats Jacksonville State 20-17. Still to come here tonight, 6:30 kickoff. Number 1 Georgia's at Georgia Tech. Number 24 Clemson's at South Carolina. Gamecocks need the upset to get bowl eligible there. Iowa State is at number 19 Kansas State. North Carolina is at number 22 NC State. Wyoming is at Nevada. Cal is at UCLA. That is at the Rose Bowl. Will that be Chip Kelly's last game as UCLA coach? That was a report a week ago, but they beat USC. Yeah. We'll see if how that turns out. They are 7-4 in the season. And Fresno State, San Diego State at 9:30. Colorado State and Hawaii out on the island. That is the late game from Honolulu. And Oklahoma State, that has gone final now. They beat BYU 40-34 in double overtime. And what are we watching here?
They converted the 4th and 1, got a 25-yard gain. They just got a personal foul.
We're talking about Washington now?
Yeah. And they just went for it deep, and the guy almost picked it off.
Wow, in the end zone, too. And one more, the Bayou Classic today down in the Superdome. Southern beats Grambling by a score of 27-22. Jags 6-5 on this season. We'll take a break. The Huskies in field goal range now. They're down to the 20-yard line, 44 seconds to go. Tied up 21 apiece, Washington State and Washington. This is Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
98.1. Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Game Balls. Game Balls. Game Balls. Presented by WCK Foundation Repair. Support your home team. WCK Foundation Repair. Foundation Repair.
Game Balls, I'm going to do something that I thought I would do a lot this year. One on offense and one on defense. Okay, my game ball on offense goes to Jaden Daniels.
Okay, you stole my offensive one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's fairly obvious. There's another one fairly obvious I left out there for you. All right, and we've given his numbers: 355 total yards, 4 touchdowns all through the air. And my defensive game ball is going to Harold Perkins. Okay,
Stole my defense.
Nine. Yeah, I know, that's why I wanted to go first. He had a half a sack and a tackle and a half for loss and 9 tackles today, and was disruptive.
What was Guillory's stats? I mean, he really flashed to me today.
Yes, he did. Three solo tackles.
And he affected the game more than that. I felt like he was around the ball all night. Ran some guys down. He just applied some pressure. For some reason tonight, he popped off for me tonight.
I thought he was very, very good. Washington, a 42-yard field goal in the last play of the game to beat Washington State, 24-21.
Some of the dumbest decisions on the last drive. Throwing it twice, almost intercepted a sack.
From the 20-yard line, they throw an out route that hits the defensive back right in the hands, and he drops it. And then they drop back to pass again. Kicker's made 7. Now, he had missed his earlier attempt
42.
From 42.
Redemption.
But he had made 76% of his kicks for the season, so it's not like he was, a liability or anything like that. Wazoo did what they could today, but they come up just a little bit short, 24-21.
I want a coach to review that film right there. You see the amount of players that had their phones out recording the celebration on the sideline? How did they get their phones out there? That's pretty impressive.
You're not supposed to have your phones on the sideline.
They're all sitting there.
Okay,
Instagram and live or something. I'm like,
they can have student managers bring them out there and have them at the end of the game. I remember they were telling that story about the LSU women's basketball team, that they all wanted their phones as soon as the game was over, so that they could do all of the the video and pictures.
I knew a couple guys that were like, you knew they were never getting in the game and kind of like hid it in their pants pocket every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's what it
looked like for sure. All right, game balls. You going Malik Neighbors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Malik Neighbors, and I'll give Guillory. I like Guillory's game today.
He did. He had a good game. Chris Blair and those guys on the network, they have a rule about you've set a record, you get to player of the game. So Malik Neighbors,
no doubt,
on that one. All right, Florida has scored the first points of the game between Florida and Florida State. They get the touchdown, first play of the second quarter, and the extra point is good, so make it 7-0 there. We've got one more segment to be with you, and then we'll do that when we come back here at Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Would a couple that just came from a couples massage have any use for the massage seats of the Infiniti QX60? Yes, it appears they would. With driver and passenger massage seats, mute all your notifications and feel infinitely you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
98.1.
Eagle 98.1 Game Day continues here from Rouse's. And do 2 things here as we wind down. First of all, here are the updated Heisman odds. And Knicks is the favorite everywhere after today's games. DraftKings has Knicks at 130 and Daniels at plus 110. FanDuel at 125 for Knicks and Daniels at plus 115. Caesars has Knicks at minus 120, Daniels at plus 110. BetMGM has got Knicks at minus 125, Daniels at plus 105, and ESPN Bet has Knicks at minus 125 and Daniels at plus 125. So this means right now Vegas thinks that Bo Nix is going to win the Heisman. It doesn't mean they're right, but it's just what they think. There's another game for Bo Nix to go either way. Look, Michael Penix made 2 what could have been really costly mistakes in the last 35 seconds of the game. Guys had a great year, but he almost gave the ball back where I don't know what Washington's doing throwing the football there in field goal range. So there's another game Friday night, and I hope that everybody, takes everything into account and votes what they think. I would vote for Daniels, but I understand that the odds suggest that Nix has maybe got a little bit of a lead right now based on
So do you
what he
root
did
for
yesterday.
Washington in the championship game?
I'm rooting for a 3-0 game with a whole bunch of turnovers, really.
Yeah.
But I guess I thought coming into the weekend that Penix was still alive. I thought if he had a big game today and a big game in the conference championship game, that he could still get there. After today, I don't think so. I want to check his final numbers.
Just had a game-winning drive.
He did have a game-winning drive, but if you watch the game-winning drive, they ran a reverse, I think it was.
Yeah,
and
on 4th and 1, the reverse ran.
And he almost threw it. All right, he was 18 of 33 for 204 yards, a touchdown, and a pick today. And no rushing yards, minus rushing yards. So I think it's a two-person race now. I thought if Penix had a big day today and a big day next week that he could have maybe got there.
Now
but
he can have a big day next week.
Huh?
He needs to have a big day next week.
He has a big day, and Nix doesn't. That would be the most helpful, I think, where Daniels is concerned. Second thing is a bowl game. We think Tampa's a pretty good guess, which is New Year's morning, the ReliaQuest Bowl against somebody out of the Big Ten. Much as Iowa's boring, it would be an interesting contrast in styles if they ended up playing them, but. We've been to Florida to watch LSU play Iowa before. So outside shot, I think, at Jacksonville, which is the 29th, I believe, the Friday before New Year's weekend. They could end up there. And they haven't been to Jacksonville in a really long time. Last time they went to the Gator Bowl was 87. So maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see how all of this shakes out.
It always seems we're either in Florida or a championship game.
Well, there's – the drop-off after the Florida Bowls, if you end up at we've been to Music City Bowl, been to the Texas Bowl, it means you didn't have a very good year.
Yeah.
You just, they could have sent us to Vegas like they did Florida last year to go out there. Going to Vegas next September.
That's true.
I promise you we're going out there. No chance. No chance we're missing. No chance we're missing that trip. So bowl game, Heisman odds, and that's what I wanted to cover in that segment. So we'll take our final break, come back, wrap things up. Hear from Rouse's Eagle 98.1 Game Day.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50. And you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all, you'll find luxury that lets you feel infinitely you. Visit your local Infinity retailer today.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
98.1.
Florida, an early 7-0 lead, actually early in the second quarter lead over Florida State. And how'd you like to be playing in Iowa State, Kansas State, Manhattan? It is snowing hard.
I don't like cold.
I don't think I would enjoy being at that particular
I went to Detroit,
game.
but we played indoors.
Inside. Nice, cozy stadium. Okay, so a big day, good day for LSU. Good day for Jaden Daniels. Good day for Malik Neighbors. Good day for the program. We'll see how everything sorts out as we get into the offseason. Great crowd today, I thought, especially since all of those people had to drive over Nicholson Drive today, which the local government destroyed and decided not to fix. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself, whoever's responsible for that, that you had this many guests come to your city and you do that to a major artery into the university. So I don't know whose fault it is. All I know is that they beat the road all to hell and didn't fix it for 6 months. So
probably the same guy set up the barricades. It took me an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah, well, I was more than a little perturbed this morning with that road situation. I live here too, you know, and it stinks.
It's embarrassing.
And it's inexcusable. In the meantime, we will see where LSU ends up in the bowl game, and, of course, we'll be back for that.
We've got a lot to play for. 10 wins, I'm telling you. 10 wins is a big deal.
10 wins is on the table, so we'll see how it shakes out. And, of course, the Heisman Trophy will be presented 2 weeks from today in New York, so we'll see. Jaden Daniels is certainly going to go. We'll see if he wins. A lot of eyes will be on that Pac-12 championship game next Friday night in Las Vegas. I want to thank our crew here. Alondra Villarreal has been fantastic here on site for us all year. Michael Patel back in the studio has done most of the heavy lifting where the board is concerned. I don't know who else is back there with them because we're not inside, but thank you to all the people that worked on our crew this year. Bo Wegman, our engineer, Kate Wazan, and of course Matt Musso on the pregame show, and of course for you. We'll be back for the bowl game, but a lot of hard work went into putting all of these shows on, and I want to thank everybody that was a participant in that, and special thanks to our friends here at Rouse's for being such a courteous host here all year for us, and we encourage you to come by Rouse's for all of your holiday shopping. Final score, once again, LSU wins it by a score of 42-30. From all of us at Rouse's, all of us back at the flagship, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good evening. This has been Eagle 98.1 Game Day.